Welcome back. I'm Emily at Emily's podcast, Tribute to All Little Angels, Part 5, Episode 5 of Refresh Our Memory, July 6, 2022. Good morning. Well, at times it's hard for me to know if it's a good one or not. My heart is heavy. I sit and pray to God to calm it. I pray He will guide the Attorney General's office to do the right thing for the people that is involved. I ask for myself to be well and protect all of us from evil. I said amen. I start my morning by visiting with my daughter, Nicole. She came over before going to the stores to shop because Madison wants to go with her. They leave and I'm able to sit, reflect, and think. And I know if I don't hear anything in the next few days, I will have to find another way to represent Megan's story. Now, again, as the state of Oklahoma, I feel, has failed us. How do I do this? Who do I trust? And I know things in life, and in my life, has their own challenges. And sometimes I've had to ask why. And then I was handed this. I believe I have done everything that has been asked of me. And I know that I have missed a couple things that I've had premonitions or intuitions about. But at the times I had them, I couldn't get to the cemetery. And I am sorry to Megan. And maybe at one of these times I may have missed something, or maybe not. But I will never know. But I do know I don't know if I can handle any more. And over times, I would say I can't handle any more kicks in the teeth, the face. And yet, if something hadn't worked out, I would still move on to something else because I'm not giving up. But I have to ask, when is enough enough? When can it be over to be fixed? When will I be able to believe that life is not this harsh? July 8, 2022. When I woke up this morning, my heart is heavy. This is the feeling I get when it seems as though I'm not doing enough. A thought then came to mind that it's been 1 month today that the Attorney General's office called and admitted they did have the file. They did receive it on May 26, 2022, but they said they didn't know where it belonged, and I have not heard anything else. 10:36 a.m. when I checked the mail, I'm really hoping to receive a letter from the Attorney General. But there's nothing. And it's not a bad thing, I hope. I mean, no news is good news, right? 12:46 p.m. I look up CNN news information to see what I need to do to send an email or my information to them about this story because I will keep reaching out. But at times, this is not easy. July 9th, 2022. It's a Saturday morning, and the morning air is awesome. I hear the birds chirping. I hear a lawnmower. I hear a dog barking. But even with all the noise, it's still awesome. After I saw the postman drop the mail in the box, I'm praying that if there is a letter from the Attorney General office, please bless this to be a positive outcome. I went to the front porch to get the mail, and again, no news. No news, no letter, no response. The day is quiet, and of course I cry. I pray for all of us. My head hurts, my body aches, and my heart has been shattered. July 10th, 2022. I have to ask, Is there ever a day stress-free? 10:32 a.m. this morning, while talking with my brother John, he asked, "Have you heard anything from anyone?" I said, "No, I haven't." He said, "Not about the cemetery either?" I said, "No, and Friday is a month again, another month. They gave me 30 days to send in a comply, and I did send it in on time, so I would think they had given the city 30 days also. So I'm thinking I may hear something within this 30 days, but I haven't. And it's okay, because to me, the longer it takes, the better it is. And I will wait." John said, "Wow, sis, are you ready for all of this?" I said, "Yes, I can be. I have to be." John said, "I hope you hear something soon." I said, "I hope so too, because at times it is tough." He said, "You will, sis. You hang in there." We talked about other things and then let each other go. I then spent some time outside to sit in the sun and soak up some natural vitamin D sun. While outside, I netted the pool and checked the chemicals. When I'm done, I stood at the end of the pool overlooking the neighbor's fence, and above his tree line, I look up and I see a white bird flying above the trees. I got in the pool and swam a little while, not thinking too much of the bird, except that it is really pretty, white as cotton, and it was a beautiful bird. When I got out of the pool, my phone rang, and it's my brother John again. I sat under the patio and talked with him. He said, "Sis, I just saw the most beautiful white bird. A white bird looks like a dove." I said, "I saw a white bird myself just a bit ago." He said, "You did?" I said, "Yes. I'm going to look it up to see what it means, if it means anything." 11:21 a.m. I did look it up, and from what I understand, their presence is a sign that one should be hopeful and peace will prevail. To focus on the peace it brings to your heart. It may be a blessing and prosperity. A white bird, especially a dove, means love. They are equated to gentleness, kindness, and love, and it brings positive things in your life. And I'm happy with what I have read. And I'm sure there are other meanings, but that's what I understood. 4:11 p.m. Madison and I leave to go to the cemetery. The sun is shining and it is hot, but we will at least drive through and take pictures. We are just checking on things. I enter the cemetery and pull back to visit Wyatt. We did stay in the car looking over at him, and a short time later I pull around to visit Megan. I did pass a few kids who are laid to rest here also, and I prayed to them. We visit with Megan, and I took pictures, and we sat with her, just looking over the area. I have tears in my eyes, and most of the flowers are gone. They have mowed the grass, and it looks as though they have ran over the flowers and shredded them, and just lets them lay on the ground in the area. July 11th, 2022. I thank God when my eyes opened this morning. When I checked the mail today, there was no news. 11:42 a.m. I'm sitting on the glider swing on my patio when I hear a soft voice say, "Thank you." I have a tear in my eye, and I heard it again. I looked at the pool and the sky past it and said, "You're welcome, angels." I started to cry, and I said again, "You are so welcome, Megan. All of you are very welcome." I sat there reflecting in it all. I then thought, wow. Then thought again, I can't believe this can be over. Or at least I'm hoping so. July 12th, 2022. No news again today. I ask God to bless the Attorney General of this great state to do the right thing for the people. I have to believe God, Megan, Wyatt, and the other angels are watching over me, over us. July 13th, 2022. Today we didn't do much but be outside. Nicole, Zoe, and Lily came to visit. It is a really nice day to just kick back with them and let them be who they are. We did have a good time, and after they left, I'm able to sit back and relax. Thank you, dear God, for this day. July 14th, 2022. I did not feel well this morning when I woke up. I didn't understand why I was feeling this way. I was feeling nauseated, my head hurts. So I laid in bed, and when I started to feel better, I got up. And when Madison was ready, we went to the cemetery. And at 1:12 p.m., when we arrived at the cemetery, there are cars in the far back side, but no one near Wyatt or Megan. I pull up to Wyatt, and we sat with him for a short time. And then a little later, a white pickup with a trailer hauling a bulldozer pulls up on the west side of the cemetery. It pulls around into a east-west side street and pulls through the gate on the east side, just past Wyatt. We watched. He parked, and I pulled away and pulled around to visit Megan. I took pictures, and everything seems to be all right. But it does bother me, though, how the lawnmower, the guys that mows the grass, just runs over everything and leaves it laying on the ground. I still say, no respect. Megan and Wyatt, today, July 14th, 2022, is your mommy's birthday. Watch over her and help her to have the best blessed day ever. Bless her to be happy, happy in life. Watch over her, keep her strong, guide her to do the right things, good things for her and your sisters, and bless them all to be well and to stay strong-minded. Love your mommy, and thank you, my angels. And in your own way today, show mommy you are with her. Help her to acknowledge it in a feeling, in a soft voice, or in a touch. Show her, angels. No news today. And I have to ask, am I supposed to be doing something, anything? Because I know when this first started, and just recently, I would ask to guide me, to show me what to do if anything needed to be done. And some of the times the pen would be pushing and my hand would be holding it, but I don't even know what I was writing. And I ask, Megan, Wyatt, and God, help me to know if I am. 3:51 p.m. I call my brother John back from earlier when he called when we were on our way to the cemetery. While talking with John, I asked him, did you or Gail talk to Summer when you took your car in? John said, I didn't go in, but Gail said Summer talked to her. I said, oh, she did? John said, yes. Gail said Summer mentioned trying to get someone here to help work on this for you. I said, really? John said, yes, but you will have to talk to Gail or Summer. I said, oh, wow, John, that would be awesome. John asked, isn't it Nicole's birthday today? I said, yes, it is. John wants me to call her three-way and let him talk to her. So I did. Him and I together sang happy birthday to Nicole, and Nicole is so appreciative and surprised. And it was such a nice gesture. Thank you, John. Uncle John. John and Nicole talked, catching up, and then they let each other go. Happy birthday, baby. I love you, Nicole. July 15th, 2022. It's Friday. Another week, no news. I'm remembering past experiences as I affirm with what's happening. And yes, I have a problem of someone being misleading. Do not, please, I repeat, do not say you will help and then don't. And then I sit thinking, reflecting on the relationship between God and I. And I do know the relationship between Him and I, we have an awesome relationship now. And if anyone has not experienced anything like it, it's there. Hopefully you will. July 17th, 2022. 6:21 p.m. Patty called. We talked for about 20 minutes and she asked, "Have you heard anything?" I said no, and I'm looking at it as no news is good news. Patty said, "That's a good way of looking at it, Em, until you hear something." I said, "I think so too. I have to keep my head and thoughts clear. I have to stay away from the negativity and look forward to a new beginning and hopefully get this resolved." Patty agreed. We talked a little longer of how she is and what she had been doing, and then we hung up. I spent my day in thoughts of what to do if I get a negative letter from the Attorney General. 9:35 p.m. Lisa, my friend from school day, calls. She is going into work and wants to talk until she arrives. Lisa asked, "Have you heard anything?" I said no. I told Lisa a few things that I was told of what to do next, and Lisa agrees. Lisa said, "You will have to do anything and everything, Em." I said, "Oh, I know. I will. I have to, and you know I will. I'm not giving up, Lisa." Lisa said, "I know you won't. You can't. We won't let you. You will not." Lisa and I talked a few more minutes, and when she arrived at work, we said goodbye. July 18th, 2022, 10:52 a.m. I see the mailman, so a short time later I went to the mailbox. I see a letter from the Attorney General's office, and I kind of chuckled. I chuckled because I was just asked by a few different people if I had heard anything, and then today I hear something. I said, "Oh, crap." I held the letter in my hand and prayed to God for it to be the news we need. I sat down on the couch and opened it. The Attorney General has conducted what they could do, more or less. The city of Moore now knows who I am. They have a response. Not a good one, but there is their response. 11:01 a.m. I sent Summer a message letting her know about the response. I wrote, "Good day, Summer. I don't know if you had jumped ship on me, but I wanted to share their response with you to see what advice you could give me, and just to let you all know. The city is only telling half of the story in their response." 11:11 a.m. I wrote, "I sent Jen a message letting her know of the response." Jen wrote, "What the hell?" I wrote, "First they lied about knowing me or not knowing me with no repercussions. Now only telling half the response to the story." Jen wrote, "This is complete bullshit, Aunt Em." I wrote, "Yes, it is, and I am now looking up addresses to reporters in other states. I'm going to send letters to the news stations in New York. I am so darn mad right now. Baby, do you have any suggestions? Anything?" Jen wrote, "I would consider contacting some civil attorneys. like in their letter, just for a free consultation. But yes, also write letters to the national news stations. I wrote, yes, I will. Jen wrote, I've got a question. Down there, do they pay for the plots at the cemetery like you do up here? I wrote, yes. Jen wrote, well, even though they removed Megan's headstone where it had washed away from the flood, and the casket, well, even though we know it's not hers, you still own the plot. So make sure you watch that area so they don't try to sell it. I wrote, oh, believe me, I am, and I still take pictures every time I'm there. Jen wrote, good for you. 11:40 a.m. Summer replied back to my message. Summer wrote, I have not jumped ship. I'm sorry. I've had so much going on over here between wanting to quit my job, dealing with getting rid of my car, and trying to figure out my house issues. I've been swamped. And to me, it looks like they're not looking into pushing anything themselves. I would definitely get as many families with the same issues to join you and see if any of them are willing to speak in court about their personal experience with this place. I wrote, oh no, Summer, I couldn't even imagine. I hope everything works out for you. And yes, I am going to do what I can and carry on to do. Do you think calling the news stations in states outside of Oklahoma is being premature? 12:14 p.m. I did get the information for a legal analyst. I tried to call the number, but it is not a working number any longer. After the call did not go through, I had to sit down. For some reason, I wanted to cry, but something wouldn't let me. I sat there thinking and thought, I'm not going to do this. God gave me this time to get myself strong, to be able to get through this. I know now I'm strong enough to speak of this story, and I can. I believe talking about it publicly. I can't say I won't cry, but I know now you will understand what I say. 12:17 p.m. I wrote to Summer. I have written letters to families' names that were on the headstones. I did receive a few calls, but some were where the names were no longer living at the address. And while I sit here, I thought, I need to copy the letters from the Attorney General's office. So at 3:31 p.m., I start copying the letters and the legal documents that the city sent back. And as I got through some of the papers, copying them, I was like, this looks really odd. But when I got to the admittance map that was received on January 16, 2019, I noticed the date I wrote on the map was a paper the city sent back in their defense. I thought, I kind of knew when I was copying the papers that they were my legal documents that I sent to the Attorney General's office. Then when I got to the admittance map, I thought, these are my papers. They are my legal documents. 4:29 p.m. I messaged Patty. I wrote, the city's response they returned to me is my legal documents. Patty wrote, well, that's an interesting tidbit to tell a lawyer. I wrote, as I was copying these papers that were sent to me, I thought these are just copies of my papers as to their defense. I wrote on top of a paper the date I received it when I first received it. 4:45 p.m. I finished copying the papers, and I'm trying to stay busy because receiving this letter today has put me back. It has stressed me out, and I thought my work was done. except to tell the truth to the story. Now I'm back to writing letters to an attorney or to anyone that will listen. I did sit down to write something. I'm not sure who to or what it is, but I wrote 5:13 p.m. I filed the petition with the Attorney General of Oklahoma against the city of Moore in reference to a cemetery flooding and headstones being moved. The city of Moore replied they didn't know me, to me sending proof they do know me. Then they sent a reply with copies of my legal documents I sent in as my proof that they sent back in their defense. The date on the left-hand corner of the admittance map, when they claimed there was only 5 or 6 headstones moved, the date on the admittance map, I wrote, received this 1.16.19. I do have pictures of proof, reenactment pictures, and an overlay picture proving my claims. Please talk with me. Please listen to me. Please want to sincerely help. Thank you so much, and I signed it. Then I felt I needed to lay down. I have a fight on my hands, and I will see it through, because I know God will be with me. July 19, 2022, 4:29 a.m. Summer messages. She wrote, I don't know if I would or not. You could call around and see if anyone is interested in covering it before you go to court, and maybe it will get enough publicity before the court hearing. Get people talking about it so there's a little more pressure on them to make things right before it goes further. I've never done anything like this before, so I don't want to tell you something and be wrong about how it can turn out. What does everyone around you say about it all? 7:47 a.m. when I woke up and saw Summer's message, I answered her right away. I wrote, everyone around me says to talk to as many as I can. Someone had even said it's crazy how Oklahoma doesn't want to help and is ignoring it, even with the facts. Publicity is exactly what this needs. Do you know of anyone who would listen, look at the information, as long as it's less than 1,000 miles away from this location, is what I understand. And Summer, don't worry about telling me something wrong. I'm learning as I go. And believe me, I've tried everything, with stories following behind each ally. And Summer, thank you so much. 8:27 a.m. I sent Jen a message. I wrote, we need publicity. What is a podcast? Someone said to try that. 8:47 a.m. Jen wrote, oh my gosh, I didn't think of that. I know a famous person who has one. She started off as a host. I would have to find an email or something for you to contact her. She is a woman that stands up for what she believes and doesn't hold back. I think, though, you can search podcast on Facebook. I wrote, oh baby, and I'm excited. Jen wrote, I am looking and I can only find that she has a Twitter account and an Instagram account that you can send messages to. And let me look and see if there is a podcast link that I can send you. That might have contact information. I wrote, all right. Oh my gosh, thank you, Jen. Jen wrote, I found 2 addresses that you can send letters to, but I am going to see if she has a link on Facebook, for her podcast. They talk a lot about the old show they were on, but the other 2 women she does it with are outspoken as well. Jen then sent an address for fan mail and an address for authentic talent and literary management. I wrote, thank you. Jen wrote, even if they don't put it on their podcast, they may put it all over their social media. I wrote, all right, it's worth a try. I have to keep reaching out. And I know too, as from the very beginning, I can write letters and hope the receiving person receives it, but if we don't try, we will never know. 9:06 a.m. I sent Summer a message. I wrote, what is your idea on a podcast? 9:26 a.m. I messaged Samantha, my oldest granddaughter. I wrote, good morning, babies. I adore you all. We need publicity. Do you still want to help me? Someone suggested doing a podcast. I'm not sure how, but let me know if you want to. We can work on it together. I can come there or you can come to the city. Baby, these people now has a response of knowing me, but only told part of the story, and the papers are mine that I sent to the Attorney General's office as my proof they do know me, and I only know because I'm the one who wrote a date on a paper of the map that they sent back to me in their defense. Let me know what you think. 9:38 a.m. I sent my sister Susie a message. I wrote, do you want to build a podcast? I received a response, and as I'm copying the response papers, it's copied on front of paper and backside of the same sheet, copied off of my paperwork I sent in. I noticed the paper I wrote that date on, the admittance map, they are my legal documents. They were used in their defense. But we need to go public. We need publicity big time. Do you know anyone that's less than 1,000 miles away? Susie wrote, wow, I will check on how to start a podcast. I wrote, thank you, Susie. You know I have no idea how to. I'm getting ideas, but I need help with it. Susie wrote, I will help you. I will check into it after work and I will call you. I wrote, all right. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening. Stay kind with your words.